Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Barricade Lego the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you have my permission. Go ahead and lurk. It's okay. It's a Monday. I'm happy to hang out with y'all. Didn't stream yesterday. First day in several days I didn't stream because I did a bonus stream on Friday. So I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but not yesterday. Lashbrook's here. Hello, Lashbrook. Although my schedule was all kinds of messed up because there was professional wrestling during the day and not at night. And that was weird. It was very strange to watch like a lot of wrestling and then be like, okay, I guess I'll just go about my fucking day. I don't know. It was odd. And there'll be even more wrestling this weekend. Wrestling, it doesn't fucking stop. You can stop, but it doesn't. It never does. It's consistently just a fucking thing. And obviously you can engage or not engage. Speaking of which, it was pretty nice, honestly. Yeah, I don't mind an afternoon one, like an afternoon one like Clash at the Castle. For WWE, that was nice. Money in the Bank was nice. Like, yeah, an afternoon pay-per-view isn't a bad thing. I'm up for it. It was a little annoying because AEW did a pre-show at noon Eastern time, but they did a pre-show that was only on their YouTube and not on Bleacher Report, which is how I was watching. So that was annoying because suddenly people were like, oh, something's happening in the ring. The only things that really happened in the ring were there was a contract signing between Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't know why I couldn't remember. With locally sourced indie wrestlers as security guards, which is always funny. And then Jeff Jarrett and company came out to badmouth everybody and badmouth England and take credit for wrestling being good. And then local heroes, local British, United Kingdom heroes, Anthony Ogogo, who's last seen in AEW as a heel, Paul White, the Big Show, who's not British, and, of course, Grado, local indie phenom, beloved in the United Kingdom. Grado came out and he hit Jeff Jarrett with Jeff's own guitar. So Grado got a payout coming out to Paul White's theme, not Like a Prayer, which he comes out to in indie shows. And if you're like, Pat, I just don't fucking know who Grado is and I pay attention to wrestling. Imagine if Colt Cabana was not also an excellent wrestler and was just a funny wrestler. That's Grado. Grado does not have a lot of talent to take him to the top if he dropped being a lovable comedy goof, but he can work in the ring and move around and sell, and also he is very funny and beloved. I have described him as your parents' favorite wrestler. Because, like, if you as, like, a teen were trying to, like, explain to your parents why you like something and you showed them a bunch of stuff and they saw Grado, they'd be like, I like that guy. That's Grado. So he got his moment in the sun, which is lovely for the United Kingdom. I mean, the Brits won. He won. Saraya won. Will Ospreay won. Yeah, so, all the Brits on the card, because that's all of them. Anthony Gogo. Kip Sabian got to do got to be fun and charming, which was nice. They got Kip involved. He wasn't on the card. Another Brit. And, of course, Britt Baker did not win. So, not every Brit had their moment in the sun. It was a fun show. I would describe that show as good. We're going to talk about it. We'll get into more detail about it. I'm going to retweet my tweet over on Twitter because I would love it if, like, more people watched the stream. They don't have to, but it would be nice if they did. Also, if you're like, Pat, I don't want to hear about wrestling, I'm sorry. Also, tomorrow's stream also going to be a lot about wrestling because that's the bonus stream. Is Pat watches old wrestling. We're going to be looking at some stuff from All Japan Women's, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and of course Michinoku Pro. And also of course, as we go to the overhead, let's get into this working on these legs here. Also, we will be talking about my time in UCBW, the comedy show about wrestling that I participated in for many years. And I helped as a referee, as a promoter, as a booker of talent, as a organizer of people, and as a comedy person, a performer in the role of a wrestler. So we will look at a promo so you get a sense of the character, and also we'll take a look at a match. And this is fulfilling my personal obligation, because you may remember that I said that if I hit my goal on Friday, that I would show this, and I hit my goal after the stream was over. So this is a bonus for that. And I decided instead of doing that and then also playing Jackbox, which didn't make much sense, we'd postpone the Jackbox until October when we do a new one. Because I'll just say this. My view numbers have... Friday was great. People showed up for Friday. I'm so grateful for them for showing up on Friday. Genuinely thrilled that happened. My numbers outside of that, both Saturday and now as it started today, not killing it. And that's fine. It happens to go through peaks and valleys. But I don't think I want to try doing a stream where I really not only need people to be here, but I need them to want to play games with me. So I think like waiting a while to do Jackbox. Because also when Jackbox Party Pack 10 comes out, we'll play that. It'll be nice to get everybody together for that. It'll be nice to kind of get the whole crew together around a new game. So that I think that'll work out better than the right now just being like, hey, let's play Jackbox Party Pack 9 with, oh no one came, that kind of thing. Not ideal. So we're gonna get these legs will not take too long. There exists the possibility tonight, friends, that we will complete this kit and I will move on to my next build as voted by my $10 patrons. There is every possibility that we will complete this tonight. We do have the legs to build, and we do have to build the weapon. The weapon is complicated and does involve a lot of stickers. I don't remember. I think we can use one or the other. I don't think we use all of them here. I think it's an either or. Yes, it's an either or. So we'll either use these nice ones or the ones with the green. We'll use the ones with the green because it's flashier. But that's still 9 stickers that we have to apply. So we still have some stickers to apply. It's just we don't have to apply 18. But let's get into it. Let's talk about fully and completely All In 2023. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. So All In, we will also talk about something that happens in between matches as we get there, but let's go through it first. We had 2 pre-show matches. MJF and Adam Cole defeated Aussie Open and became the new Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. That's right. After so many years, after a long stint in NXT, Adam Cole, via being in All Elite Wrestling, he's a Ring of Honor champion again and a tag champion, which he was never and always wanted to do it, but he didn't. His factions, he was the solo guy in all his factions, or he would be ready for it but didn't win it. So that's kind of nice. Also, he did it with his good friend MJF. Of course, they also met in the main event. As far as this match goes, it gave the people what they wanted. Double clothesline, the double kangaroo kick to two people. Good pathos, lovely little moment, great way to start the night in front of all those people. Felt good, felt fun. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher got their shit in. I didn't necessarily think they needed to. Here's the real problem, right? You really shouldn't have your world champion and his competitor in the main event of this historic show lose on the same night early on. You probably don't want to have that happen. It worked out fine when they didn't beat FTR, but like they probably shouldn't have won there. It's a weird thing. They probably needed to win, and they did. They won. That's interesting. It's not. Yeah, we'll see more of that later. Then we had Hook defeat Jack Perry by submission for the FTW championship. This was under FTW rules, which means there are no rules. It's just a hardcore match because it's a Renegade belt. They do their own. They do it a little different there. Jack Perry, his big entrance was to be driven to the ring by a nice car, and he got out of that car, and then just got beat to shit. He just got beat up. They beat each other up quite a bit. There was a whole thing on the, and then the windshield was busted on the car, and Jack Perry made a comment directly to camera about using glass. That's real glass, which was a reference to stuff in the dirt sheets, apparently confirming the dirt sheets that leading up to this event, Jack Perry and Hook were having back and forth, and there was a lot of stuff happening in the parking lot and him escaping in vehicles. And apparently Jack Perry, who was leading up to a week off, he had requested time off, and so his plan was, let's do a spot and we'll use glass, and it'll be this whole thing. We'll use real glass, and it'll lead to this idea that I'm injured or I'm taking time off, and that's to explain my absence. That got misconstrued. A bunch of people were like, don't do stuff with glass. Don't do stuff with car glass. What are you talking about? And because that was going to take place on Collision, CM Punk decided that he was going to get involved in the discussion because he's the locker room leader. So he got involved in that discussion, and it was them arguing back and forth. And he says, like, we don't do that shit here on Collision. And also, he misunderstood. He thought that Jack Perry wanted to do this stunt so that he could take a week off. But in reality, he was already taking a week off, even if he didn't do the stunt. Anyway, the stunt happened there. Jack Perry decided he was going to talk a little smack, which I think is hilarious and awesome. And I have to imagine desired result took place, which is before the first match on the main card, which was CM Punk defeating Samoa Joe by pinfall to retain his real world championship. That's right, his old belt that he was stripped of, that he decided he wasn't stripped of in storyline. He won that. Before he won that, there was a confrontation between him and Jack Perry. They are both believed to be suspended by the promotion and most likely will both miss All Out, the pay-per-view that's happening this Sunday. Most likely, although it could change. But yeah, basically, the two different people have different opinions on what happened. What we do know is they was a face-off. Some shoving and pushing happened. If you believe one side, CM Punk is a badass. If you believe the other, CM Punk is an overreacting asshole. It was a face-off, yeah. Jack Perry was asked to leave the building. Conflicting reports on if CM Punk was asked to leave the building or if he chose to leave it on his own. But we do know that CM Punk did not fucking stick around on the biggest wrestling show in the company he works for his history. He left after about an hour. There are other things about coming out later about how no one was there to meet him at the airport because there was a mix-up because he left a day later than originally scheduled, and that didn't get updated, and a bunch of other shit with Punk where he was probably in a foul mood. Also, his match, some people very much cared about, but it wasn't like a big deal on the card because it's another match between him and Samoa Joe for a fucking belt that he in character is delusional about, but also in reality, there's a choice to make. They made the choice. Lastbrick says, I saw someone who believes this is a work at this point, and like, what's the payoff? All this does is make Punk and Tony Khan look bad. So I don't think it's a work. See the thing, right? People that say this is a work, the alternative to it being a work is that CM Punk is such a soft man. He is such a frail individual mentally and emotionally that these incidents keep occurring where he could talk shit about someone out of nowhere for no reason, but if other people do it, well, fuck that. If someone tweets something or says something, no. There's going to be repercussions because he's in charge somehow. If you can't accept that because that makes the person you like garbage and frail, then the only alternative is Jack Perry, who is not in a program at all with CM Punk and has nothing to gain from being suspended by the company because he's at the you have a fake ass belt as well level, and you're there to put over the future of the company. It doesn't make any sense. Why would CM Punk fucking do any of this shit? You think CM Punk doesn't want to be on that press conference? You think he doesn't want to be higher in the card and not opening the night? Like, nah, none of that makes sense. This shit is not a work. It is not a fake thing. You may not get the football reference, but CM Punk seems like Aaron Rodgers in terms of ego and desire to have control over everything that's going on around him. I mean, I am at least culturally aware of Aaron Rodgers. But forgive me if I'm wrong, Lord Crashington. Aaron Rodgers is a good football player, though, right? Like, Aaron Rodgers, like, obviously it's possible and difficult to work with, but, like, from my understanding, it's worth it because Aaron Rodgers is a good footballsman. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize. If he is not a good, solid footballsman and not worth it, then that is a really good comparison. Because in my opinion, that CM Punk Samoa Joe match was better than their TV match, but it wasn't like outstanding. It was barely okay. I forgot that into camera. Perry said, it's real glass Crimea River, which is very funny. So, then there's different arguments about what happened there, pushing each other. We don't know. So now we had Brawl Out, and we've also had Brawl In. The match itself had one moment that kicked ass. The announcers are at ringside, which is fun. They've got a table set up. Announce table. Instead of putting him through the table in the opening match, or onto the table, or into the corner of the table. By his legs, Samoa Joe was holding CM Punk and swung his shoulders and head into the front of the table, which gave way, because obviously it was foam core, and then CM Punk ended up head and shoulders and part of his torso inside of the desk so that he cut himself in blade, and it wasn't on camera. And I'm not a big bladesman, but I do think that fucking kicked ass. That was cool. I'll give it to him. I thought the match was fine. That was fucking rad as hell. That spot was one of the best spots of the night. We are very lucky that Ace Steel is work from home. Yes. He's a good footballsman, okay, but tries to undermine his team to get players he wants and eventually forced his way to a different team this past offseason, especially poisoned his rep with consistent talk on the chat shows and other stuff he's done in his free time. Yes, you should also, look, all reporting done about wrestling should be taken with a grain of salt because their sources are people that work in those companies or professional wrestlers. You should also, if you read an article where CM Punk is a complete and total badass, there is a very good chance that the person that supplied that information, that insider, is in fact CM Punk. and it's fucking hilarious because he made friends with, because a guy that he insulted, because that guy is an improviser and did stuff with Cult in Chicago. That guy and Cult also aren't friends anymore. So now CM Punk is friends with a dirt sheet writer, and that dirt sheet writer gets weird exclusives where CM Punk seems to be in complete control and very cool and tough. So yeah, take all those with a grain of salt. It's worse enthusiastic press than gaming. Yeah, I mean, like, so I don't think that. What is it? Comics press is really tough because they don't have a lot of inside information. So a comic book press is generally just regurgitating press releases, and that's rough. Wrestling is a lot. Again, wrestling sources are often not to be trusted and are rough. And also, some people that work in that industry are not good writers or public speakers and that stuff. Whereas at least in this modern age, video game journalism, those folks are at least somewhat trained in how to act like a person or a presenter. At least. Not in all cases, but sometimes. So anyway, going back to the card, because we should talk about the card and kind of get through it. Punk was going to win no matter what because his fake-ass belt was on the line, so of course he was going to win. I thought overall the match was totally acceptable. It was better than their TV match in the Owen Cup tournament, or Owen Hart Cup tournament, not Owen Cup. Owen Hart Cup tournament. So, that was good. Konosuke Takeshita, Bullet Club Gold, in this case Juice Robinson and Jay White, with Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn of the Bullet Club Gold in their corner, as well as Don Callis on commentary, but also in Takeshita's corner, really. Defeated the Golden Elite, which is Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page by pinfall. So I got this one wrong. There was no money betting, but there was like some conversation about of who was going to win here and there. So I had gotten MJF and M. Cole right. I'd gotten Hook right. I'd gotten CM Punk right. I did not get this right. I thought for sure that the Elite were going to sweep the fucking thing. Because it was all in, because that was their brainchild. I thought for sure that Kenny and Kota and Hangman were going to win that one, and they did not. I thought the match was solid. I think Kota Ibushi looked far better than he did in the last match he was in. He is not the same man that he once was. I think that's okay because we all grow and change and get older, and it's fucking wrestling, and it's so fucking tough on the body. I am okay with that. I know some people are mad that Kota Ibushi does not wrestle like he did 10 years ago, but also he shouldn't have to. God fucking damn it. The Guns made a lot of sense in that match. They did a lot of work there. This has been a very good thing for them. I would say the Bullet Club Gold is not great in general, but it's very good for the Guns, and also it allows Juice Robinson to just be a complete wild, wonderful maniac, and I enjoy that. So good on them for that. Jay White, I think this felt a little more like New Japan Jay White, which I'm always in favor of. FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler defeated the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson by pinfall, and then the Bucks did not shake their hands. The Bucks came out in fucking Freddie Mercury tribute gear, which rules, because of course Freddie Mercury played Wembley, and they came out dressed similar to how he looked. They did not have white shirts, but they did have and they had cut off leather, white or yellow leather jackets, and then the pants looked very reminiscent, but had touches of their original designs. And also, that gear had touches of the design elements of what they wore for All In, the first All In, which is really nice. It was a fucking good match. It was maybe like 2 minutes too long, I think. There were probably a little too many moments where it was like, oh, that should be it. And it wasn't it. And I was like, oh, all right, well, that could have been it. I think, not only do I think it would have been nice to have the Bucks have a big moment there, I think that would have been cool. I also think logistically, when one of your tag team champions is currently out on bail for weapons charges, maybe he doesn't need to be the tag team champion. I don't know. Maybe you just fucking call an audible in the lead up and go, well, we don't think you're going to go to jail because we should be able to plea this out because, you know, Tony Khan's dad is big in fucking Florida. So theoretically they can make this go away. But if they don't make it go away, then they're going to have to strip them of the titles. And wouldn't it have been better to, instead of stripping them, maybe having to strip them for the titles in the future, instead just having them lose? That's my thought. Cash regardless, I was still surprised the Bucks didn't win this. Yeah, like I said, I got it completely wrong on the Elite, any member of the Elite winning. None of the Elite won. I think they could have been a little selfish there and done it, but whatever. They didn't. Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, and the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, and Penta, El Zero Miedo, with Alex Abrahantes in his corner. Aristofan just subscribed at Tier 2, 60 months, saying, I think that's 5 years. What is time, says Aristofan. Aristofan, thank you so much for 60 months. That is indeed 5 years. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote, and, the blue emote if you are a Tier 2. That's just Aristofan. And me, because I'm a Tier 3. Thank you so much for, 5 years. That's so many years. I am celebrating my 6 years there, so it makes sense that you hit the 5-year mark. But that is wild and wonderful. Thank you very much for your continued support. It means a lot to me. So the Best Friends and Friends. What am I doing? I'll put this on wrong. Defeated the Blackpool Combat Club and Santana and Ortiz by pinfall in a Stadium Stampede match, which was messy as shit and very cool. We had Sue, Trent's mom, show up in a minivan, which is fun, and she brought platters with cookies on them, which is a very fun spot where she hit people with that. Now, this is according to backstage sources, which includes AEW. The plan was, they told Sue, hey, we're going to do this thing where we'll have a van for you, and you just drive it in, and then we'll open the doors, and we'll take out cookie sheets with cookies on it, and we'll hit the opponents with the sheets. And she went, oh, great. Now, nobody told her to do this. They told her, we're going to fly you out, put you up, you just got to drive the car a little bit, no problem at all. But it involved cookies. So Sue made cookies for the match. But also Sue made cookies for the wrestlers. And All In, as everyone's getting ready and they're getting, into makeup and into costumes and practicing and chatting about stuff and stretching and all that, Trent Beretta's mom is walking around with a bunch of cookies for everybody. And it's hard to reconcile that this company has both the mom of a wrestler spending time making cookies and then flying across the Atlantic Ocean to deliver those cookies and then also be in a match on the same time that two wrestlers got into a fight backstage. And it's just very wrestling. Yes. Lord Crashington says, that was a wrestler's mom. I didn't get who she was when I saw the tweet. So, Lord Crashington, this is a couple of years ago, there was a thing where the Best Friends got taken out. They got beat up, taken out. And then Orange Cassidy was in a match, and a bunch of people swarmed him, and it was no DQ. It got thrown out, and they were getting beat up. He was getting beat up. and oh no, but but like, but the best friends have been gone for so long. And then a van pulled up, and there was a lady with white hair driving that van. And then the sliding van door opened, and the best friends came out. And then the announcers were like, "That's Trent's mom." And she's driven to the ring a couple times, which has been very fun. The Blackpool Combat Club beat up her van and scared her a couple weeks ago. So they made it very personal. All right, we got to build the weapon for this arm, but we are otherwise body complete on the Michaelis, and it's fucking looking dope as hell. But now we got to build a cool blaster arm. You can see why some people work on the head here to make this fit better for a Samus. If you want to kit bash this into Samus, you could do that because you get the cool blaster arm, and you just have to sculpt the head a bit. You can understand why people would do that, and you just take this part off because you don't need that for that. But yeah, so we did have an appearance. Penta, it looked like legit. It looked like Penta got hurt because he took a pile driver into a chair, and it looked like he got hurt because he just wasn't in the match. And people were like, "Oh, well, Penta's hurt." Penta was not hurt. He might have actually gotten hurt, but he wasn't hurt enough. Because he went backstage and did a full costume change, which is very funny. Eddie Kingston, apparently after the match, he and John Moxley, who were very good friends in kayfabe and in real life, but on opposite ends, they were just arguing the whole way up because Eddie doesn't have a problem with Moxley. Eddie has a problem with Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club, and he's just like, "Stop protecting Claudio from me. I'm gonna kill him." And so his problem is that my friend won't let me beat up a stablemate of his, which I think is very funny. And then also, he did badmouth and then ditch Ortiz. So I don't know why and I guess Santana is mad because Eddie didn't care enough about him when he was out injured. I guess, I don't know. It's very vague, but like that, yeah, that whole part doesn't quite work, but I don't know. It's cool to have Santana Ortiz back. And it was nice. Look, Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Wheeler Yuta are all, and Claudio as well, are all Chikara boys. And Bryce who was also a Chikara referee, was the referee, and they're at Wembley all together in that match, and that's dope as shit. And very cool that all these guys had this opportunity to do some shenanigans together. All right, so I can't quite tell how this blaster is supposed to go here. I think it doesn't quite show me the right angles here. I think this needs to go in. I think this is how it's supposed to go. Yeah, like that. Okay. I think this is how it's supposed to go. This looks right. It makes sense. And then this is going to go here on the other side. Yeah, all right. That looks right. Okay. We're building a blaster. So yeah, that match was great. As Westbrook says, it did not disappoint. Stadium Stampede match was fantastic. They were all over the place. They were in boxes and fighting everywhere, and it was very cool. Saraya defeated Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, I should say, by pinfall in a four-way match that was under 9 minutes, and that's very fucking frustrating. The shortest match on the card before the pre-show, only 30 seconds longer than one of the pre-show matches, is a real fucking shame. The only women on the card, if you want to be clear, we did have Ruby Soho come out. She did not get involved in the match. She was not in the match. She did come out. And I guess if I'm saying, there was Sue, as mentioned, and Julia Hart was in later on the card, but not in a wrestling capacity, although she did get attacked by babyface wrestlers. Nothing says, like, we're the good dudes, and one of us was in the Attitude Era, like doing a wrestling move to a wrestler not in the match. Cool, dudes. That's a wrong piece. No, this is a piece. Oh yeah. All right. Anyway, Saraya was going to win. Do I think she's the right choice? No. I don't think she's the right choice. I do like the idea of Toni Storm slowly losing her mind as she morphs into fucking Marilyn Monroe. I think that's very fun. That's been really fun to watch. But Saraya was going to win this. She came out to Queen. We Will Rock You. She came out with her family. This is the one of only 2 British wrestlers on the card in fucking London. Yeah, she was going to win, even if she's on the heel squad, and even if she was in the match with the heel. The fact that she did not pin Hikaru Shida is kind of surprising, because Shida, the champion who came in, who had cool gear and looked great, I am not too surprised that she did not win, or that I was surprised she didn't get pinned. Because people were like, well, Shida just won, so they're not going to take the belt away from her already. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Hikaru Shida won so that at episode 200 of Dynamite, there could be a cool moment with her where Hikaru Shida, Hikaru Shida was there to have a cool moment in the match. She unfortunately was not there to be a long champion. She's there to be a transitional champion. It's a shame. Anyway, the match was good. It just, I wish it had gone a little longer, and also there were maybe different people in that match. Darby Allin and Sting, who came out to fucking Metallica, of all things, defeated Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage with Prince Nana. Swerve was wrapped to the ring, which is fun. That was a cool moment. Swerve, Strickland got put in the casket. Luchasaurus got involved, but then also Nick Wayne got involved. Seek and Destroy. Yes, thank you, Lashbrook. I could not remember which Metallica song was used. It was very funny that Nick Wayne came out to try to help, and then Luchasaurus just apparently kidnapped him. I was like, okay, sure. Sting tried to do a move through a table. It didn't work. Then he was like, well, I'll do a different move through the table, and then it finally worked. And I was like, you could just call an audible. Hey, let's have less spots where Sting has to go through tables and jump off stuff. He's with a guy that likes doing that. Just let just let Will Ospreay, not Will Ospreay, just let Darby fucking jump off stuff. Sting, stop jumping off of things. You're very old. Sting remains undefeated. He is the only undefeated wrestler in AEW, as far as I know. He outlived Jade's streak and Hook's streak, who both have one loss, but not Sting. I mean, I bet there are some wrestlers. There might be a wrestler that came in for like a one-off and won, but I don't know. I want to say Sting is undefeated in AEW, and is the only one who is. All right, these stickers are a pain in the fucking ass to get in, because they're inside stickers that have to bend here. This sucks. Well, I'm doing the ones with the green because I think that looks cooler. It's like the blaster is going to be powered up. That's neat. What else going to say? Will Ospreay with Don Callis defeated Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara by pinfall. Hey, this match was a little slow at points, and I would say probably has something to do with the fact that Chris Jericho's certainly getting on in years. He's not as much of a killer as he used to be. He's still out there working, and it's fine. He's just older now. He's just an old wrestler. And Will Ospreay was working babyface because, even though he is a heel through and through, because he was in London, and people were just like, yeah, it's fucking Will Ospreay. Hell yeah. Will Ospreay's here. Doing it up. Fozzy played. That is Chris Jericho's band, and he sang himself down to the ring. He at numerous times yelled to the crowd to sing, and it sounded fucking bad. It sounded not good. I would describe Chris Jericho singing as himself down to the ring as yikes. Not too good. Match itself I thought was fine. As I said, Will Ospreay could carry anybody. He had just wrestled the night before at Rev Pro, which is cool as hell. Good for him. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that. Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, defeated the House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King with Julia Hart in a House Rules No Holds Barred 6-man tag team match. That's right. The stipulation that because the House of Black have stipulations for their matches called House Rules, and the challenger gets to add a rule, and they can announce it right before the match so that the champions don't know what the stipulation is, which is weird for heels to do that, but that is what's happening here. And the stipulation they added was no holds barred. And there had already been a couple no holds barred matches that night, really, because there was already Stadium Stampede happening as well, so it was kind of weird. And the FTW rules match, so I was like, oh, okay, sure. Anyway, Billy Gunn has his first championship belt because they won the AEW Trios Championships. So now, at 56, looking jacked as hell, brother, Billy Gunn is a champion in AEW. I don't love it. Gotta say. I don't mind folks that have experience working behind the scenes, being on camera. I don't know if it adds anything to the Acclaim to have him with them as much at this point. A champion with new boots, indeed. But I'm just going to say, I don't think that Billy Gunn needs to be a champion in AEW. I hope that it was a nice moment, and you got your, a couple older stars in there. Because this show did not have like big surprise. The big international talent that is not an AEW roster member was Grado. So like in a bit that wasn't a match. So like this show didn't really have non-signed wrestlers. Closest is like technically Will Ospreay is on loan. He does not have a contract with AEW. He is not all elite. But everybody else is under contract. So kind of weird. And in the main event, MJF defeated Adam Cole by pinfall in a match that ended. It ended in a double count. And then Adam Cole asked for 5 more minutes. And MJF said, no. As much time as it takes. So they got extended. It made the match almost 30 minutes. So I guess the first decision was thrown out. This was a really fucking interesting match, both during it and the after effects. You had Adam Cole start to, from the beginning, work kind of rough, work kind of stiff. This wasn't necessarily two clean baby faces working together. And then as it got desperate, then you started seeing MJF cheat. But he wouldn't go, there was parts he wouldn't do. And then Roderick Strong came out, who was very jealous of the friendship of MJF and Adam Cole. and he was trying to cheat for Adam Cole. But Adam was like, no, I'll take shortcuts, but I won't do this. There was an incredible, great ref bump with Bryce. It was good. There was some good shit happening there. Good bits of business. Really strong match. Right results, I think. And then after the match, Adam Cole is beside himself. MJF's like, we still have these belts. And then Cole is like, throw it away because he doesn't care because he's mad, he's still upset with himself. And then MJF's like, oh, okay, well, so we're not friends, huh? Is that what's going on? Because we're not friends? Because this didn't mean anything to you? And then MJF turns his back and says, all right, well then, yeah, stab me in the back, do it. And Adam Cole doesn't do it. And I'm so glad we're extending this. Because now they have to defend the tag team titles together. And I don't know. Will they defend the Ring of Honor titles at All Out? We're going to find out on Wednesday. Is there a rematch? Are we going to have MJF work another program with his buddy watching his back, Adam Cole, who is looking for opportunities to get another title shot? Is he going to get desperate? Is he going to pathetically beg for another shot at it? And then, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. It'll be interesting. It's a really good story. It's the best story on AEW television by far. It's one of the better stories in wrestling. Overall, All In, very fucking good. I would love to watch a compiled off of all recorded cameras version of Stadium Stampede with like a different edit, because the live edit left much to be desired, as in all Stadium Stampede matches. It's got to be incredibly difficult to do. My hat's off to everybody on that front. But it does leave a lot to be desired as a viewer, because like you'll see someone with a chair about to use it, and then they'll cut to something else happening, and then you'll hear a chair shot, and you're like, what? And you see the aftermath of the chair shot. And that happened like twice, where it's just like, what the fuck? Show the thing. He's setting up to do something. Let him do it. I don't know. But other than that, that's my major complaint. I mean, look, do I think Saraya should have won? No. It's interesting to kind of push that story along of the Outcast and the cracks in the Outcast. Maybe. That might be interesting, I think. But I don't know. I'd much rather see Sheeta pull off that victory. As I said, Sheeta's English accent, or her English-speaking voice has a British accent because she used Harry Potter films as a way to practice and learn English. So she's got a bit of a British accent, which is very fun. And also, where the fuck was Zack Sabre Jr.? I kept waiting for him to be added to the pre-show, and it just never fucking happened. And it's so fucking weird, because that dude wrestles for Ring of Honor. He is a well-known, famous British wrestler that wrestles in the fucking British style, that competes for AEW. And you're like, well, maybe he had a booking somewhere else. You fucking cancel that booking somewhere else. Ortiz canceled so that he could do All In. Like, you fucking do it. Who cares? I don't know what he was doing, but he wasn't there, and it's weird. Because he's fucking Zack Sabre Jr. Also, the fallout for this thing, we should say, fallout of this is going to be that Penta, who also has, bones to pick, he teams with Orange Cassidy but has issues, wants the International Championship. And then also, it's going to be Moxley versus the winner of that match, which will probably be Orange Cassidy, at All Out. So we can look at the All Out thing. Two matches for that show got booked during the fucking press conference. So, great job, everybody. Everybody's doing great on that. We already knew about Luchasaurus with Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. Darby working so much. Jesus. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. We knew about that. That match is a TV match. Does not need to be in a pay-per-view, but sure. Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. For the TBS Championship. Will the Outcast get 2 belts? Will they have both belts? Or will problems between Saraya and Tony Storm rear their ugly heads once again and cost Ruby that belt? We don't know. I would hope that Statlander does not lose, because that would be a fucking bummer. But also, I do want Ruby Soho to have a belt, because Ruby kicks ass and is a great wrestler and a great person. So I would like good things for Ruby, but also I don't want her to take that belt from Statlander so soon. In the future, perhaps. Right now, that's a bummer. Orange Cassidy or Penta El Zero Miedo, as I said, versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley 100% should not become the international champion. Him being in the mid card is fine if he loses, but he is a former world champion. He should not have that belt. Do I think that Orange Cassidy should drop that belt at some point? Yes. He's had it for a very long time. This fighting through injury storyline is fine, but not great. I would like to see him do other things. Honestly, I would like to see him and Best Friends go after the trios titles, because I think that would be neat. And then Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis. The match that people assumed was going to happen, the fallout from All In, is that. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that match is going to be cool as hell and good. So that'll be nice to see. And man, I don't know if Kenny Omega is going to lose 2 times in a week, 2 back-to-back pay-per-views, but I think he fucking should. I think he should lose to Takeshita. And that's weird, though. It's weird. Again, unless there's some shenanigans. It's odd. But I don't know. 2:36. We're going to take a pause for the calls in a moment or two. We'll talk about ways you can support the channel and do all that stuff. But yeah, that's wrestling. I'm going to see if there was an update about any updates here. I know there was a Fightful Select report coming around. Will Ospreay is going to do Impact at Bound for Glory. So you know he's not signed to AEW, because people are like, oh, he's definitely signed. It's like, well, no, he's also doing Impact, and that rarely happens that people do both. So that's most likely an indication he is doing some stuff with other people, which is cool. He should. That's neat. And any other wrestling news before we wrap things up here? Let's see. Oh, Ethan Page wasn't at All In. And also, okay. So, one of the many people who could not be at All In because they are trying to get a green card officially and therefore cannot leave the United States for fear that they will not be admitted back into the United States, added that list is Ethan Page. And then he had to wait until they were done with their tours of Canada so that he could do those Canadian tours. And now he's basically landlocked, which is fucking great for him. Good luck to Ethan Page on getting your green card sorted. That's rad. So I'm going to add that to, I'm going to share that in a wrestle chat, because I don't think that got brought up. I don't know. That's neat. That's neat to me. I think that's cool. All right, we'll finish this part of the kit up, get this blaster together, and then we'll also build the stand that we need for the wire if we want to have that on there. Will we build that? Yeah, we'll build that. So we'll do that after the pause for the cause. Hello. I'm going to, in attempt to do it quickly, talk to you about ways you can support the channel if you were so inclined. Everything we're going to talk about here is optional. You don't have to do any of this stuff. If you want to, you're more than welcome to. But it's all optional, and it's all gravy. If you would like, you can throw the Barricade, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you were a subscriber, being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money or your Prime Gaming token. So throw those in chat if you are a subscriber, because it is so great to have subscribers watching the streams as we do stuff. And again, subscribing, easiest way to support me through cash money or your Prime Gaming token. Or you could gift a sub. You could join Bunny Fiend, Dice Roller, and J Devil. Bits and coins always appreciated, like Harold and Stroud and Bunny Fiend. Those are other ways to support me if you were interested. Also, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. And if you're like, well, Pat, it's the end of the month, man. It's almost September. So I don't think it'd be right to join Patreon. Well, don't worry, because Patreon offers rolling subscriptions. So if you join now and you pay, you won't pay again for another 30 days. So you could do that if that's something that you're interested in. I think it's 30 or 31. I can't remember how it works on that. Also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. There is a model on YouTube where subscribing is free, obviously. But if you wanted to, you could become a member. You could join. And then for $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video that everyone else will watch on Wednesday, you could watch tomorrow. And it's funny. I filmed it tonight and uploaded it. It's a quick and silly one, and I think you'll like it. It's another quick hitter. It's quick. It's longer than my last one, but still quick. And then maybe you just want to one-time just like help me out, right? With a one-time donation of funds to keep me going and keeping the lights on and all that. And you could do that through Ko-fi or Stream Elements or PayPal, and everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, including AdSense. So watching my videos helps me out. Through Twitch or through Patreon, all goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that. The Michaelis I bought with your generosity, past you, paid for, present me, to build this. The next kit I will be building, the Lfrith Thorn. The Lfrith Thorn I just bought the other day off my Amazon wish list. My own wish list, I bought it for myself. And I'm building that. That's on deck. That's the next thing we're building. Now, if you want to decide a future build for Pat Baer, you could do that by going to my Amazon wish list and buying something off there. It'll come to me in the mail. I will make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that you have purchased, and then it will jump the queue. And when it's time for me to build a new thing, I will build that thing. I have Lego sets. I just put that. You can see the link in chat to that. I have Lego sets. I've got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. I've got a couple kits from Mold King, the RX-7 from Initial D, and the model car Bat. It's not even it's a knockoff Batmobile in that they don't have the license for the Batmobile. So it is, but it's clearly the Batmobile. I could build that if you want to buy that for me to build, because those knockoff Lego were pretty good, the Mold King. But yeah, I've got other model kits, expensive, not so expensive, on sale, never on sale, a bunch of cool shit. I'm hoping that the Gundam Schwarzette drops in price, because I would love to build that, but that right now is expensive. But yeah, a bunch of stuff that I would be happy to build in the future if you wanted to buy it off my wish list. And there's some gear at the bottom, because it's always nice to have an option. If you're like, I want to help out, but I don't know what to buy, you could do that. And then Throne is my alternative to Amazon, because it's nice to have alternatives. And then, of course, you can buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store and then send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with that gift card code that you get in your email. And then I'll buy something from USA Gundam Store, and hopefully it'll be a cool model kit that you go, ooh, well, Pat, I bought this. You could. We'll get back to building in just a moment. Just want to finish promoting some stuff here. You could, if you wanted to, join my Discord. Right here, there's a link there. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. My Discord is lovely, and you're invited. Couple of video links for you to check out. Today, I put up a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that I would love for you to watch. It is my review of The Fire Hunter. The Fire Hunter is an anime from this year that I skipped over because I was like, I don't know this. I haven't read this. It's based on a novel, not a light novel or a manga, so that's how I didn't know about it. But when I was talking about hidden gems, people were like, well, did you watch The Fire Hunter? And I was like, no. Like, you should watch The Fire Hunter. I watched 5 episodes of The Fire Hunter. It's a 10-episode season 1. Season 2 is coming. And I reviewed it. So if you would like to know about that with, like, limited to no real spoilers, you could watch that video, and I would appreciate it. Or if you don't care about it, still watch the video. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and perform a piece of comedy that I have rehearsed at least some amount of. And in this case, it was very easy to do. I just made a parody of, not even a parody, I just made one of those like cutesy Instagram videos that's supposed to be like, there's a twist. I'm being nice to you. Believe in yourselves, kind of a thing. I was like, I'll just make one of those because I think that's would be funny to do, and so I did. And then I have a new one coming out on Wednesday, as I said, that is pretty fucking good, and I think you'll like it. All right, that's all of that stuff that I had to do. We're gonna get back to building because we're gonna finish this model kit. Damn it! But before that, I do need to drink a little water here, so I'm gonna do that. And we're going to dramatically transition back to the overhead in just a second so that we can talk about some manga and then some anime. We'll start with the manga and then we'll do anime after that. And I'm going to drink a little water here and dramatically transition right now. All right, let's talk about a manga that I have been reading. I believe I am through now 2 books plus, so it was finally time to talk about it. The Strange Dragon, the former Choreman of the hero's party, relaxing slow life on the new continent. This is a somewhat overpowered main character story, and it is a new-ish subset of the Banished thing. Because, yes, this guy was in the hero's party. He was the supply man, and he did lots of magic to support the party. He was basically a part of the support, not the healing, but he did everything else. A very knowledgeable adventurer. Here's the thing. He didn't get kicked out of the hero's party. The hero's party got dissolved because they won. They defeated the Demon Lord. They saved the day. All of this is before the manga even starts. But they did all the stuff that you're supposed to do, right? And there's less. And so he was like, well, I guess I'll go back to being an adventurer because other people, it seems like, went and did stuff and, got all the rewards. But he was like not the main focus. So he was like, okay. And he's at the guild because, well, there's not a lot of need for adventurers these days. He's kind of past his prime, and he's thinking, and so he's like talking to the guild master. Hey, I think I'm gonna retire because I'm not old, but I'm like not needed. And the guild master is like, oh, shit. Okay, well, how about one last job? And it's a different one. What if you came with us, now that we defeated the Demon Lord, this as of unknown continent appeared, and we're doing an expedition to go there. How about joining the expedition? Your knowledge and your abilities would be perfect for that. And he's like, you know what? Okay, yes, I'm in. Now, it turns out that guildmaster also retired from being the guildmaster to lead it. And yeah, he's on board. So that's what this manga is about. It's about this group that comes to a unknown continent and to try to figure out like what the plant life is like and can they survive there, and to basically make a colony and prep it for people to move there eventually. And our dude has like amazing abilities and is training and all of that, payoff. He's a decent fighter, but it's more that he is very knowledgeable of the world and can do crazy cool stuff. And then also, on the way there, they meet this hippopotamus. They meet a hippopotamus, like this big hippopotamus that like can talk. And because our main guy is a tamer, he's like, "Hey, do you want to come hang out with us? We're gonna go to this cool new place." And Hippolas, because they name him Hippolas because they think he's a hippo. He's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll go with you." And Hippolas is just kind of like a child, like very young and silly and cute and great. Turns out Hippolas is like an undiscovered like dragon. He is probably an earth dragon. He can change shape. He can walk around on land with no problem. He's got like other forms that he can transform into. He's super strong and really kind and nice, and he's just a good hippo. And then also within like the first day, they meet a wolf and a girl who's been raised by wolves. And they like communicate, and they're like, "Yeah, you can stay with us and hang out." And it's very funny because our guy goes to tame the wolf, and instead she tames him, and she's an animal tamer, and so they just make friends. And it's great because you're getting them being cute and fun. The three of them bond. The hit because they're all children. They bond together. We're starting to meet some of the other people on the party, including there's a woman who is really like a biologist basically, and she's real nice to have on the team. And yeah, it is a lovely little series, and I like that it is playing with wow, people didn't know what to expect with this guy that has like creation magic. He probably could have found a different job that wasn't adventuring, and everybody's really lucky to have him. And this is going to be, tough but not impossible. But also, it has all of that, but it doesn't have the baggage of him being like, "Oh, I can't believe that my childhood friends abandoned me," or whatever. "They left me in this dungeon to die, but I didn't die. Ha ha ha." It's not that, which is nice. So it's like the slow life version of the Banishment story. And it's enjoyable. I recommend it. You can find the collected volumes. I believe they're digital through Manga Up, if I remember correctly, of the Strange Dragon and the former Choreman of the Hero's Party. Relaxing slow life on the new continent. It is just fucking cute and fun. It's a fun, cute show, and or book, I should say, and you should check it out. And that's my manga recommendation. Now we're going to talk about anime. Last week we did not have an episode of Zom 100, unfortunately, because of some sort of sporting event. So we had our episode 6, because they also took a week off of this. So we had episode 6 of Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. And I'll chat about that. This one. So Akira and Kensho, after the aquarium incident, they come to realization that the place they've been staying is kind of falling apart, and the infrastructure around here isn't really holding up. And there's a real fear among them that like this area is not going to last. We also remember that Akira has family in Gunma, and so the prefecture of Gunma. So they're like, well, we could go there and try to find them. So they're going to head out, but they want to go and try to take an RV, because there was a RV showcase before the world collapsed. So they're like, oh, let's go there and kind of see what's up. So they go and they run into Shizuka, who was obviously involved in the last episode, but also episode 2. And she also was looking to get an RV. They had the similar thoughts. Okay, so this has to go in here somehow. I don't know how this is supposed to... Alright. I gotta figure out how this arm locks into place here. Because I understand how it goes like this, because it'll open up like that, which is cool. Yeah. And then this opens up like that. Sorry, everybody. I'm just going to figure out how this arm fits in here. Oh, it just goes like that. Okay, great. I think the answer is it doesn't fit great is the answer to it. How does it fit in there? Not particularly great. But you can also put the beam saber in like this, which is neat. But then you can also do this other thing, which is put this wire through here. Anyway, they convince her, hey, come along with us. We've got plans. We've got ideas. You should come with us. We're going to Gunma. And they convince her to travel with them. She's like, yeah, all right, I'll go with you. And they pick an RV, and they're like, great, we're going to go. But uh-oh, there's a spike strip in the road. They hit a spike strip, and then Kenma gets injured in that. And it turns out that there's this group that is fleecing people on the road for supplies or to do manual labor. And it's led by Kozigi, who we might remember from the first episode as Akira's supervisor. You know, the main boss we know died, but this is the supervisor. We'll just clip it like here because we don't need all this. We don't need all this cable. They gave me so much cable. So we get to see Akira kind of like devolve, like regress back to how he was previously, which is a shame. But yeah, we kind of just watch him kind of react, just like really kind of fall back into how he used to act when he worked for this black company. And they agree in exchange for medical supplies to treat what's his name, Kencho, and some supplies to fix their RV, which got damaged. He's going to do like a couple days of manual labor. And then there's this like a good portion of this episode, which I thought was pretty fucking rad, was an explanation of a little back. We finally got some fucking backstory of our girl Shizuka, who is like, yeah, well, you know, like it's a bummer to see Akira act like this and regress and in this way, but I also have experience dealing with this kind of verbal abuse. And she's like, oh, okay, we're getting some flashbacks about like what she's like, because she's trying to look after Kencho. And then Kusugi taunts Akira by revealing that he is using everyone, the people that they stop, and even the situation for cheap labor purposes. And there's a real feeling like in 2 days, like they're not going to just let them go. And even if this is a better than being out wherever, like this is clearly a bad situation to be in. And that's the end of the episode. It was nice to have this episode again after not having something for a while. I don't necessarily think this was like the best, strongest episode. There was not a lot of zombies. There were some zombies here and there, but not like a ton. And I will say, it is very interesting to watch our guy Akira like kind of fall back on his old vibes. I think that's interesting, but I'm not necessarily saying that it was like, my favorite episode of the series or anything. All right, so this thing detaches, and then this goes into there. Oh, and then I need a connector piece. Yeah, I need 8. But this kit's almost done, folks. So we'll finish this up and they'll talk about Sweet Reincarnation, which is the other episode, the other thing I want to talk about. So then this goes in like this. It should go in like that. Yeah, it goes in like that. And this. Like that. Yeah. All right, great. All right, so we get the cool, like, blaster disconnected from the arm, but still connected mode, which I think looks neat. You can do like that. Let's see if I can get this to stand up. Can I get this to stand up with like this? So I don't have a stand within arm's reach to put this on, so. All right, well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna worry about it then. This will come out. You can just do that. So I can show you that go like that. And we'll take a photo. Oops. Take a photo of this cool blaster thing. And then take a photo of like this on the air. Hell yeah. All right, we take a photo of this kit, and then we will call the Michaelis done, which is a fun build. This was a nice, fairly quick, straightforward build here. Almost, about two full streams and some change. And we'll get into working on the Lfrith Thorn. Let me take a photo here. Great. All right, so now we're going to switch things up by going to the Thorn. Here's the Thorn. Then I'll add this to the info here, because I did not think that we were going to get started with this, but we will get into that there. So Lfrith Thorn HG. Will we be working on another Lfrith in the future? Yes, we will. But I also wanted to work on the Thorn because it looks rad. It looks like it should have a flight mode, but it doesn't have a flight mode, which makes it a very good kit because that means we don't have to transform it into a flight mode. But if you look at the photo, just like the way its backpack is set up and the way its armor is laid out, this series has a lot of like very bright, vibrant colors. So it's kind of interesting to go with something like brown, like a brown kit is, I don't know, I think that does make it stand out a little bit. Makes it seem a little different. Um, but it still should be an enjoyable build. And then get some weapons and such. Blue beam sabers, always nice to have some vibrant colors in there. And then some amount of stickers, quite a few amount of stickers here. I don't believe that these are, none of these are reversible here. Like some of the other. Earth doesn't get fun colors for their suits. You're right, Lashbrook. But yeah, looks like we don't have reversible. We're not doing the reversible stickers for this, I believe. Yeah, so like some other Lfriths. But it does have cool weapons. It does have the beam saber that comes out of the arm, which I always like that vibe. And yeah, well, unfortunately, most of the stickers appear to be on the head, but we'll make do. Starting out with the head is always rough. Starting out with like the most stickers, always kind of a bummer for me, but whatever. We'll work on it. It's gonna be good. But again, it does look like it should transform, and it doesn't. And I don't know. I like that. Something about that I think is fun. So we'll get into that, and I'll tell you about Sweet Reincarnation. So, last we left off, there is an engagement between Pastry and Licorice. Licorice is the younger sister of another person that got engaged, and this is definitely attempting to coalesce some power. Huberek, the local lord, who has issues with Brioche, who is an older lady that we've seen before, she was definitely trying to manipulate in the past and make use of Pastry for her own needs, which was very obvious to Pastry, and is certainly mad about this. And there is a tea party happening with a lot of nobles coming up, to which basically they hope okay, well, we hope that everything works out and you can get away with it. Pastry, hey, for the first time in several episodes, I believe it was episode 3 the last time we had this, guess what? Pastry, the guy who was a pastry chef in his former life, who got reincarnated, and all he wants to do is make food, but can't because he's the son of a local lord and has responsibilities and magic powers and such. He cooks. He starts working on honey-flavored sweets for the party, and he's very excited about baking, and Licorice is very excited to watch him bake because she's infatuated with the dude, and very happy that he's happy. But yeah, he's in his element. He's making the various treats for people, and is feeling good about that. All right, let's work on these tiny pieces of the head. We're going from the Michaelis, which had very few tiny pieces for its head, to this kit, which is all tiny pieces. Very fun. But at the very least, it looks like the way to put all of these together here does not. There are stickers, but it looks like they're like the eye stickers and the camera stickers. And there's one sticker that goes on here. But it doesn't look to be too bad, which is good. Because, it's just that some of these pieces are quite small. Anyway, so we got the party coming up. Agnes and Josephine are frustrated that Pastry is focusing on the sweets instead of flirting with Licorice. But, he's got a passion for food. At the party, which is mostly young nobles trying to, make a connection, Pastry's sweets go over really well. And then Pastry's like, oh, well, we're going to be able, what if and your people, what if we do some trading? You know, he's working the room. This was his plan. It wasn't just it was an excuse to make pastries, which he loves making, but it also was a negotiation tactic to increase trade. But he's like, hey, you know what? It would be great to trade with everybody. It's just the real problem is the taxes for sugar are so high. It's going to be so hard for me to make enough sweets for everybody. If only there was a way to get around it. So he's basically trying to get out of being taxed for the high tax for sugar. And then pastry gets pulled away by Brioche, who is trying to lock in some stuff. And then Licorice is alone with her maid and Nico, who is guarding her. So it sounds like Pastry is working on, instead of, because he knows long term that he can't just keep trading for sugar. So he's like, oh no, I'm going to be producing sugar within 3 years. Let's see. And then Brioche is like, all right, well, you can use my ports at the coastways to ship your sweets around. We'll figure that out, which is, a good deal for him. All right, I gotta figure out how to get this together here, friends. This should go like this. How does it go like that? Yes, it does. Okay. And then this goes like, oh, but that wants to go like that. Sorry, I will figure out this head here. The head for the Michaelis was not complicated. Obviously, the Michaelis is a mobile suit, and this is obviously also a mobile suit, but it's a Gundam as well. So of course it's a bit more complicated because it's a Gundam. So it's got more going on. Yeah, I feel like this has got to go like, let's see. Okay, so while I try to figure out how this head works and get all that together, I'll keep rereading my notes here over and over again. Let's see. Oh, okay. Then Licorice here's some gossip, and about how great Pastry is, and then she starts getting nervous that maybe Pastry's out right now. She's a young lady and she's kind of feeling weird about it. She's like, oh, maybe Licorice is going to abandon me and break off her engagement because he's such a big deal that somebody else is going to steal him away. And yeah, she starts feeling kind of anxious, like she doesn't want to be there anymore. See. And then Brioche is like, I am going to mess with this young boy, even though he is clearly smarter than anyone I've dealt with, and I've also underestimated him in the past. So she's like, well, do you love Licorice? And then she gets him in a hug just as Licorice enters the room because she was fleeing the party. So she sees, and I have to remind you that Brioche is an older lady. That even, marriages like that could happen. It's probably unlikely that he's going to end up marrying an older woman like that. It's possible, but it's unlikely. Why can't I fucking get this together? Friends, I'm having all kinds of trouble. Did I put this on wrong? Oh, that's why I might have. Did I put this face? How did that happen? It's possible that I put on this completely on the wrong side here. Okay, I think that's what happened. I think I put this on wrong. It's very funny that I could mess that up so badly, but it would explain why this wasn't working. Anyway, Pastry did get to cook. There was no action in this episode, but there was cooking. Oh, yeah, and that looks way better. Yes, all right. I am now doing this properly as it was supposed to go, and then this should be easier to do now. That made sense. That makes sense, and now this should make more sense. This should slide in here. That slides in. Okay, great. Hey, I'm actually putting this head together properly now after being very confused for no real good reason. I am now less confused. It's a miracle. I should have just skipped and started working on like the body of the kit and not worried about the head. Uh, I'm so, I'm so weird about that. I know I'm weird about this, friends, that I pay attention to the order so much more. I know other model kit builders do not give a shit as much as I do about like going in order. Like I could just jump to the chest if I wanted to, where there are seemingly there are two stickers. There are only two stickers on the chest. So if I wanted to, I could just do that, and it would not have or four. I'm sorry, there are four stickers. There are more stickers as I look at it, but I could have done that instead of working on the head. There's no real reason, but that's where we're at. So that's the anime I want to talk about tonight. And now's the part of the stream. It's some people's favorite part of the stream, where I ask you, friends, to write in the chat what you've been playing, what you've been watching, what are you into? Did you watch some wrestling this weekend? Did you watch Zero Wrestling this weekend? Pat, how could you even imagine that I would be watching wrestling? Did you watch go to the movies, or because it was like National Movie Day, I think, right? Something like that. Did you go to the cinema? Are you watching anything on TV? Are you reading anything? Are you playing any video games? I want to hear from you. I completed a one. I'm down to just two main tasks left in of course it's still in early access, but in Mars First Logistics. I had to complete a rocket, and the rocket took off. You may remember that we fueled that rocket. That was the thing we did on stream. Well, now I have fully fueled that rocket and then put on some sort of telemetry device or something to that effect. And now that rocket has blasted off in the air, and the animation was cool and fun for that. So now I just have to move that giant ice cube and that escaped butterfly. And I don't know how to make a thing to catch that butterfly. And I have not figured out a way to move that ice block. But other than that, that game still fucking rules and is very fun. And there's a lot of the side missions. Those are some, those will just refill, and I'll be able to keep doing those. So I do have that going on for me, which is cool. But I'm playing a lot of that. I am working. I got a new deck that I've been playing. I'm playing a rogue deck in Hearthstone, and that rogue deck is very fun because it is building a big weapon, and that weapon gets bigger the more it gets more charges, the more cards you play that are not of your class. And so as long as I'm not playing just another rogue, I have a lot of cards to generate cards to play those cards, and then also a card that will then play all of them again. And that has been very fun and very silly, and I have enjoyed that quite a bit, playing that deck. So I'm playing that a lot in Hearthstone, and then I have some other decks that I've been playing a bit as well. So that has been fun. Lord Crashington asks, are you tempted by Marvel Snap now having a proper PC version? Yes and no. So I played Marvel Snap when it came out. I was playing they did have an app, or they did have a PC version, but it was very bare bones. It was for streamers. So they didn't have to clone like an Android client or something to get it to work on PC. So it was very bare bones, and it was fine, but it wasn't anything to write home about. They have basically come up with a better version of that, I've been told. But I don't. There is a core fundamental element of Marble Snap where you just, if you want to build a particular deck and you don't have the cards, you're stuck unless you just play, and hope you get that card that you need. And that is not an experience that I enjoy or that I am looking for. I just fundamentally don't like that part of Marvel Snap. So, the fact that there's no crafting of cards. And maybe that would break the game. Maybe adding crafting, there would just be too many people playing meta decks and not putting enough time into it, and it would ruin all the fun. I'm sure there have been conversations up and down about that, and smarter game people than me as just a consumer have thought about it, and this is the solution they came to, and all of that. But that does not stop me from not enjoying it because of it. So even if they feel that way, I don't need to care about that. I just know that I enjoy the mechanics of the game, but I just don't enjoy that element of it, and it really ruins it for me. Because I will lose to a really fun deck, and I'll go, oh, let me see, like, what cards were in that deck. Oh, well, I don't have 4 of them, so this isn't going to work for me at all. And I'm not into that. This kit does have green here for the eyes, but it does come with stickers, so we're going to try to apply those stickers to the eyes, get those on there. And even if it doesn't, it'll be shinier with the sticker. So we'll apply the stickers there. But also know that if it doesn't look great, it's still going to look good there. But I want to hear from you, friends. Obviously, I always say this, and I mean it. You can just lurk. You don't have to get involved in the chat here if you don't want to. But if you're playing any video games, you're playing Armored Core, if you're playing, Final Fantasy, you're still chugging along with whatever, playing any indie games or anything like that, I do want to hear from you. I just finished Armored Core 6 and maybe considering the new game plus. Wow, and last week's playing a bunch of Armored Core. Hi, I'm John. John, damn, finished that game. Nice. Good for you. Yeah, like I said, I don't really fuck with Armored Core games that much. I appreciate them existing, but that's not really my thing. Folks, I did not tell you that I bought and I have played some of Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and it fucking is cool as hell. I don't think I'm going to be playing on stream, but I have enjoyed my time with it so far. That game's got fucking good vibes and good style, and so far, by playing it, I have not hated my time with it, which is always a good thing in a game like that. And yeah, it is certainly a spiritual successor. It's got the heart of that. The game just feels really fun. I've really enjoyed it. I watched Albert Pien's Captain America today, and that was a hell of a thing. Yeah, Lashbrook, that is a hell of a thing. You're not wrong. Aristofan's been out of town. A6 intrigues Aristofan, but also Starfield. Indeed, Starfield. What of Starfield? I can't wait for more in-depth conversation about Starfield from games critics that I appreciate and enjoy, because I do want to know more about the Starfield, but I'm also excited to play that. Last week's barely done with Chapter 2 boss. There you go. And 6. Lord Crash says, I'm pretty much done with Pikmin 4 after doing most of what's left in the game. That was very annoying to deal with. I only have a few more of the night missions to do, which isn't too annoying, but like endgame stuff. And then Lord Crash says, I'm excited for Goodbye Volcano High tomorrow. Yes, I am picking up. I thought I might be getting a code for that game. I am not getting a code for that game. That is fine. We are not going. I don't think I'm going to stream Goodbye Volcano High. I'm going to play it. I think that's a game for me. I might stream Starfield at some point. I don't know when I start playing that game. That is a possibility. But yeah, I think Goodbye Volcano High is going to end up just a me game. Tomorrow, as mentioned, I will be playing, or I'll be watching some old wrestling, and you're invited to hang out for that, including, I'll say it now that more people are here, me watching old wrestling will include a promo and match from my days as a comedian playing a wrestler in a comedy show about wrestling. And that will be very, very fun, and you are welcome to join me for that. As well as, I should say, at least one match from Michinoku Pro, from All Japan, New Japan, and All Japan Women. Got a great match card for you of some awesome wrestling and some goofy wrestling. I'll be supplying much of the goofiness. So you're invited to that tomorrow. That'll be fun. And then I believe there is a free update for Power Wash Simulator that will be out in time for next week's stream. That is the plan anyway. I've got to see. Let me check. Power Wash Simulator 1.4 update is coming August 31st. So yes, on Thursday there will be a new update to the next Mucky M files, update 31st, to Power Wash Simulator, and I will be streaming that because I really like playing Power Wash Simulator on stream. That's a fun stream game. So we will check out that stuff on the following week. Of course, there will be a voting for my $10 patrons. Sorry, my $3, $5, and $10 patrons, should say specifically. My $3, $5, and $10 patrons will vote on what I should do in the following week. It'll be September. So yeah, by the end of September, but might be the beginning of October, I got to figure the dates out. I'm waiting until it's September to figure this out. I will do another episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that will be live recorded. That'll be the wrap up of the season, the summer wrap up and fall preview. That is coming. That always happens. But there were so many delays that I have to figure out exactly when the new shows are starting so that I know kind of when to do the video. But I'll be figuring that out. And of course, we do have Thursday's stream will be the last stream of the month. And then, of course, we'll get into September. The first stream of the month will be Saturday. As we continue to work on the Thorn. We'll start working on the body of the Thorn. I could have panel lined this as I went, but it's fine. We're getting in there. We're getting it done. We'll get all the nooks and crannies of this kit taken care of here. Looking nice with some panel lines here. Getting some marker in there. Making it look real good. Yeah, especially this piece here I could have hit. It's fine. It looks good. But yeah, so that's I know what I'm doing next week. And then I also know that in October we'll have a new Jackbox game. I don't know the exact date of that. Let's see. Did they put in the release date for 10? I can look this up because I'm looking at Steam right now. So if I go to store and look up Party Pack 10, because I think they have Jackbox Party Pack 10. Release date, October 23rd is all it says, right? Planned release does not have an actual date for it yet, but it does have a wish list. I'll put it on my wish list. And then I guess I'll go to my wish list. But yeah, Goodbye Volcano High is coming out tomorrow. I'll be picking that up. Cyberfunk is out. Spirit Swap still coming out this year sometime. So that'll be good. Demon School coming out soon. Sunshine Shuffle is on sale, folks. It's $8 right now if you didn't play that. So you might want to check that out. Fight Forever, still $60. I thought maybe when they put Stadium Stampede out, they would drop the price to like promote Stadium Stampede and maybe like get more positive reviews and go up. It's mostly positive, but no, they have not dropped the price of AEW Fight Forever. And so I still do not own AEW Fight Forever. Kit Bash Model Club still does not have a release date. I do want to play that when it comes out. 10. Station to Station. Star Trucker. Teenage Demon Slayer Society will be out at some point, but I will most likely get a code from that because I get codes from that developer, which is rad and cool as hell. So I think I will probably get a code for that at some point, just not at the moment. Let me just take a photo of this while we're here and hanging out. We'll kind of ease into the end game here. Find a good place to put this. There it is. There's the head. All right, so yeah, tomorrow talking about wrestling. You're invited to hang out for that. And then, of course, on Thursday, we'll continue our Thorn here and continue to work on that kit. And I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else that I want to chat with y'all about. No, I think we're good. But of course, we're not done here because we got to go on a raid because we always end with a raid. And of course, we're going to see if Mary Kish is streaming, because if she is, we will raid Mary Kish. Yes, Mary's playing Pikmin 4, and we always raid Mary on Mondays because that's the only day of the week that she streams regularly. So we'll go give Mary a raid because she's wonderful, and will be always a good time. So we'll go on a raid there. Feel free to come along on this raid. As John says, we always end with a raid. Come along on this raid, please. And then come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for wrestling, including a look at some shenanigans that I got up to in the past many years ago. Mary Kish Mondays, indeed. I hope you have an excellent rest of your night. I will see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.